Hello, my name is Keira Boone, and this is my presentation on analyzing air quality dynamics in U.S. cities affected by COVID-19 lockdowns. This study examines air quality changes in New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago using Sentinel-5 satellite data for the years 2019, 2020, and 2023, focusing on 5 key pollutants: carbon monoxide, formaldehyde, nitrogen dioxide, tropospheric ozone, and sulfur dioxide. The aim of this project is to evaluate the impact of decreased human activity during the pandemic lockdowns on air pollution levels and to understand the subsequent rebound as cities return to pre-pandemic activity levels. The COVID-19 pandemic caused global lockdowns, resulting in almost immediate decreases in many forms of air pollution, most notably nitrogen dioxide and 2.5 micrometer particulate matter. As lockdown restrictions eased and people began to engage in more transportation and industrial activities, these levels began to rise, but stayed lower than pre-pandemic. As society began to return to normal, emissions and air pollution levels also began to return to pre-pandemic levels, in some cases exceeding them. This was not without consequences, however. The temporary improvements in air quality during the lockdowns likely had positive health impacts, reducing respiratory illnesses and cardiovascular problems associated with air pollution. As seen here, the 5 air quality indicators analyzed in this study can have harmful impacts on human and environmental health when present in high concentrations. Using the pandemic period to study the effects of reduced human activities on systems and climate patterns offers insights into potential mitigation strategies to improve human health for the long term. The study focused on 3 major US cities: New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago, chosen for high population densities as well as transportation and industrial activities. The analysis utilized Sentinel-5 satellite data to monitor the 5 air quality indicators mentioned previously. Data was collected for the months of July in the years 2019, 2020, and 2023 to capture pre-pandemic, during pandemic, and post-pandemic conditions respectively, as well as data from July 2019 to July 2023 to observe larger scale changes over time. Difference mapping was utilized to visualize the changes in each of the 5 analyzed pollutants as average July concentrations between 2019 to 2020 and 2020 to 2023. Selecting a single month helped to isolate seasonal fluctuations that may affect aerosol concentrations and distributions, and July was the selected month as is typically the busiest month of the year for urban activity. Time series for July of 2019 to July of 2023 were also conducted for each air pollutant for each of the 3 cities so as to provide a larger scale of air pollutant distributions and concentrations. This allowed for seasonal fluctuations to be examined and for potential anomalies to be highlighted and investigated further. As seen in the examples here, the general trends of aerosol concentrations were stable, though there is a gradual upward trend closer to July of 2023. After exporting average July air pollutant concentrations by city, graphs were generated for each pollutant by year, 2019, 2020, and 2023, in each city, New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. These bar graphs display mean annual changes in tropospheric ozone, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen dioxide. Trends were typically that the pollutant concentration would drop from 2019 to 2020, but would rise again by 2023, in several cases surpassing pre-pandemic levels. Analyzing percentage changes, sulfur dioxide levels showed different trends across the cities, indicating regional differences and specific pollution sources such as power plants and industrial facilities. Tropospheric ozone levels had slight variations, influenced by changes in precursor emissions such as nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen dioxide decreased significantly in 2020, likely attributed to by the reduced vehicle traffic, and then rebounded again in 2023 as activities resumed. Similarly to the previous bar graphs, the average pollutant concentrations for carbon monoxide and formaldehyde were also analyzed. Carbon monoxide saw reductions during the 2020 lockdown and made notable rebounds by 2023, whereas formaldehyde experienced continuous concentration drops from 2019 to 2023 in both New York City and Chicago. This difference layer of carbon monoxide concentrations visually depicts how the Northeast US experienced disproportionately larger carbon monoxide concentration increases than the rest of the country when averages from July of 2020 are compared with those of 2023, potentially contributed to by the boreal forest common in the Northern Hemisphere, known to emit formaldehyde, as well as the different atmospheric conditions that could have accelerated its formation. The lockdowns led to substantial decreases in pollutants, with New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago showing marked improvements. Post-pandemic, there was a sharp rebound in pollutant levels, particularly carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide, as normal activities resumed. Sulfur dioxide levels varied across the cities, highlighting the influence of specific regional pollution sources. This suggests that local factors such as industry and energy production significantly impact sulfur dioxide emissions. New York City and Chicago saw significant increases in carbon monoxide levels post-lockdown, far surpassing the rise in Los Angeles. This indicates that local activities and sources may have driven these sharp increases. Sulfur dioxide trends were inconsistent, suggesting other factors influenced its levels beyond reduced human activity. Los Angeles' significant reduction in formaldehyde during the lockdown points to a pronounced impact from reduced industrial activity or distinct local sources. The study observed significant reductions in sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide levels in 2020 compared to 2019, indicating the immediate impact of reduced human activities during lockdowns. However, carbon monoxide and formaldehyde levels showed variable changes, with some increases noted by 2023, reflecting the complexities of air pollution sources and atmospheric conditions. Tropospheric ozone levels remained relatively unchanged, underscoring the intricate chemistry involved in ozone formation and its dependence on various precursor emissions and environmental factors. These findings highlight the considerable influence of human activities on air quality, particularly for pollutants like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide. Insights gained from these changes can be crucial for shaping urban planning and public health policies to mitigate air pollution and improve environmental health. Here are my references. Thank you.
I'd like to thank all of the amazing staff at both CSR and NASACs for all of their help and mentorship with this project, particularly Ms. Miller and Ms. Baggio, as well as my amazing mentor, Dr. Christine Simurda. Some of the highlights of this project were the many projects, and while it was a challenge to balance these, it was such a collaborative environment and I developed so many important skills. Overall, I love this program and it has solidified my passion for climate science and my hope to continue this in the future.